Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Good morning, Chicago.
The best show for Chicago sports.
What's going on? Got a lot to get into on today's episode. It's a Tuesday. We back at it again. On today's show, Khalil Mack, Chicago Bears. A lot of people have thought it. I don't know if anybody's been all in on it. But it absolutely seems like there could be some love there between Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears. We got to talk about, will there be a return of the Mack? And then, taking a look at the other team in town, the Chicago Bulls have a few interesting options that they have to make decisions on heading into next season. Are they really going to invest a ton of money into Josh Giddey? Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 3/4/2025. It's 7:04 in the morning. And are we running it back? Let's go! Hey, big vibes. Oh, God. We live. It's Pat. Design. You know. We ride. Oh, yeah. It's time. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily, the Morning Breeze edition. I believe Jordan JC will be here momentarily. Oh, let's see. Yeah. No. Oh. I'm glad we do this morning breeze from the house.
Oh boy, how's everybody doing today?
Yeah, they make the bed up back there. You all right? You alive?
Sorry, didn't have my steak and eggs this morning.
Oh, I can hear it in the voice. Jeez, clear the lung butter out before. See, that's how I asked that question to
lung butter. All right.
To Ben Johnson. Get the bed. I was just hoping. Can I please?
Stuff together.
Like, let's subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
You heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Steve said, you sound like a 68-year-old pissed off grandfather.
That's right. Get off my lawn, Steve.
I'm going to tell you right now. Keep playing with me. Keep playing with me. I'm
another thing coming. Another thing coming, all right?
Oh, man. Khalil Mack is the talk of the town right now. Of course, everybody loves Khalil Mack here in Chicago. We remember the time when Doc Rivers on the show today.
Yeah, they just grilling me, Jesus.
JC sound like he been smoking.
Macho Man. My JC Savage in the building.
Sound like John Fox trying to get back in the NFL. Jesus.
I want another job. You give me my job back. Good Lord. Whatever, you guys.
Heels today, no, that was crazy.
Sorry, hey, that's what happens when you wake up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen, the Khalil Mack to Chicago conversation was always one where when it came up, we were like, well, we like Khalil Mack in Chicago. Sure. Yeah, go get him. It is what it is. I'm not tripping. But I don't think that anybody thought that there was a serious reality that it could be there for the Chicago Bears. But according to 670 Scores, Chris Emma, former Bears Pro Bowler Khalil Mack, is interested in a potential return here to Chicago, where, of course, he played here from 2018 to 2021. Now, he wouldn't be the main guy off the edge, but still somebody who could make an impact on that team. Chris Simmons said sources believe Mack has interest in returning to Chicago. Mack isn't interested in the spotlight, but the vision would be for him to be a complementary piece of the defense, not a star. Now, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler also said that some people have made possible connections between Mack returning to the Bears and or going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Remember, of course, we traded Khalil Mack away pretty much as soon as I think first year Ryan Poles got here, where I was excited that they were taking on that money to pay for the Khalil Mack contract. George, hearing that and knowing that Khalil Mack is saying, "Look, I'm not trying to be a star. I'm just trying to be a guy. I'm just a guy, not the kind of guy that Steve Smith is dealing with, but just a guy,
just a guy."
Just a guy. Would you be in on Khalil Mack's return here to Chicago?
It makes so much sense. Yeah, return of the Mack. I mean, you would want him as a complimentary piece. He's somebody who obviously can mentor some of the younger guys. We talked about the development from this coaching staff, but also, you need some veteran players that have been successful in this league. And who better than to bring back somebody who's been here in the peak of his career? I think it was 2018 to 2021. And I wouldn't mind a return to the Mac. We've talked about, would we want that type of player, someone who's on that tier if we don't get a Myles Garrett or a Trey Hendrickson, someone who can still be productive, can give you that same effort and production in a sense in spurts, and then still give that leadership and that mentality in the locker room. That's what you would want, especially with the culture trying to shift here in Chicago for the Bears. And so I'm definitely on board with the Khalil Mack. You saw his numbers the past couple of years. Obviously, the 17 sack season stood out because that was the biggest one for his career. That was kind of an outlier for him. Still up in age. But I'm cool with the Khalil Mack return. I'm cool with him knowing and understanding, hey, I'm not coming here to try and be the guy I was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I understand that I'm in the twilight years of my career. I understand my place and my role potentially on this team. And so, yes, I'm going to be here to spot, to kind of fill in where I'm needed. And so, hey, bring him in.
What I think is interesting about Khalil Mack is if you go Khalil Mack, right, it almost feels like you're going with this other option in the draft at some spot where you're just saying, hey, we kind of just need you to help us steady this position for a little while because we're going somewhere else here in the draft or in free agency, right? We're going to focus more on the offensive side. I think Khalil Mack comes with I'm not saying he doesn't come with a price tag on him, but I think it's a lot less of a price tag than what some of the top names are going to be going for here in free agency, right? If you go with a Josh Sweat, is Josh Sweat's going to go for a bigger number? Y'all know what I think about the Myles Garrett situation. I'd be all in. But I think the conversation around bringing Khalil Mack in feels like, okay, well, you're trying to have future building, but at other positions, right? You're trying to go out and get that defensive interior addressed, and you want to have an answer opposite of Montez Sweat, where Khalil Mack, I does think fit into that. But I just think that when you talk about bringing Mack in, right, it's almost like, is this to try and see what Austin Booker still is on the team? Is this to see what some of the other guys coming up are on the team, or whoever you're going to draft on the team? Because it's not an answer. It's fun. And I'm here for the fun.
You're here for the fun.
My bad, Pterodactyl Pops got me with that one. He said, JC sound like Roz from Monsters Inc. Always watching.
Everybody, hey, y'all just own me to this morning. I know I need a robot testing. I need a Jesus Christ.
Oh man, that's funny. But no, like I think the conversation around Mac is more of a, as we are trying to build this thing up.
Yeah.
And we have some veteran leadership at a position that we also need to develop that position more.
You also lost some veteran leadership. We talked about the people that they left, or rather cut, rather. DeMarcus Walker was one of those guys on the line. Now, he gave you some decent production for what he was. I mean, I can feel like he kind of topped out as far as interior and kind of an edge presence, but I would feel like that would be an immediate upgrade if you brought Khalil Mack back to kind of fill that position, that role that DeMarcus had. Because now that I'm looking at the roster for the ends, didn't realize there's only Austin Booker, and then you got Dom Robb and Jeremy Cromer.
Jeremy Cromer.
I didn't even know there was a Jeremy Cromer on this team. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who that guy is, but I didn't even know we still had Dominique Robinson as well. I thought we gave up on that project a long time ago. So there's clearly a need for.
I love the disgust in your voice when you saw his name on it, Dominique Robinson.
Yeah, I'm like, what is Dom Rob still doing here? I lost faith in him 5 years ago. So
5 years ago.
Was he even in the league 5 years ago? So that's my thing. Is like, I think clearly we need to improve. Yeah, I know.
He was still that bro. Ryan Poles has made some wild takes, bro. He was like, hey, you know that guy that played quarterback most of his life and had 1 year at defensive end? What's he doing? That we draft him. I wonder who went after Dominique Robinson.
Boy, is that one of those Tory Taylor type things? Like now we got to look up Dominique Robinson for the entire draft.
It might be. Let's see. Dominique.
Hey, I bet you it was somebody impactful. It probably was somebody good too. I bet you.
Hey, we've had some rough. I'm not gonna say like every draft has
been. I
don't
even remember what round he was in.
He was later. He was a later round pick. He was a 5th round pick in the 2022 NFL draft. All right, hold on. Give me a second.
Josh says Dom Robb was Mack's replacement. Really?
I don't know about that. Dom Robb was.
I guess when Mack left. But
he was drafted when Khalil Mack left. I don't know if he was Mack's replacement. All right, where are you at, Dominique Robinson? All right, end of the 5th round, the 174th pick. Let's see. Anybody on here?
Here we go. I bet you it is somebody. Go ahead and say it.
I'm trying to see. Actually, no, Dom Robb might be the best of the bunch out here.
No, you're not looking deep enough. Go ahead. Get deep in that bag. Go ahead.
I mean, Quentin Lake, that's a DB. Quentin Lake is okay.
All right, Quentin Lake.
Nah, he's in the clear on that.
Right.
He's in the clear on that. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of dudes that's probably not in the NFL after that. Dominique Robinson is actually the longest tenured person on this list.
All right, okay. And I agree, Steve-O. He was always a project. But that it is definitely safe to say we failed that project. That project was. That project failed us. Either way.
I mean, listen. I don't know if it would have worked here. Oh no, yeah, he's got a couple. Yeah, Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you wasn't that. I mean, the ultimate one. Technically, he took. The whole NFL did this as well, but he also took Elijah Hicks and Trenton Gill before Brock Purdy, which is
Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah. Okay. All right. There you go. Would have had a Pacheco. All these running backs we could have took over punters and defensive ends, huh?
Well, listen, I'm always down for. Now, you know what? I'm okay with missing on Isaiah Pacheco. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, of course. I knew it. See, you see how you are.
First off, Isaiah Pacheco's right in my wheelhouse. A 7th round running back that has turned into something in the NFL. You know that's right in my wheelhouse. But
you got love for Bucky, but you don't got love for Pacheco.
No, my thing is Pacheco don't really be going nowhere. Like
he be running fast, slow.
He make it look good, but he's not going nowhere, bro. You know what I mean? Like I got that.
It's like a baby with his hair on fire. No, I totally agree. Oh.
Breaking rumors. Hold on, Brocky. We're not breaking rumors. Said according to a few sources, Will Campbell will be doing a top 30 visit with the Chicago Bears. I expected that to happen anyway.
All right.
Bear Forever. $20 super chat. Appreciate you, Bear Forever. Why is tackle seen as the premier position worthy of a top 10 pick as opposed to guard center, which to me are equally as important, especially to our beloved Bears? It's It's really just about how difficult it is to find premier tackles in the NFL, right? Like when people are sitting there talking about Braxton Jones as a top 10 left tackle in the NFL, they're not wrong, but that tells you a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, do yourself
It's
a favor and go watch Blindside, because that literally is what it is. When a quarterback is looking the other way, they need the bookend, the end offensive linemen to make sure they're doing their job to protect. So they're a little bit more valuable than the interior guys, even though some would argue, hey, well, the most pressure can come straight up from the middle. Those tackles are your most valued in the league.
like, I mean, this is PFF's top tackles in the NFL. And yes, Steve O, and to JC's point, so the QB don't die. Trent Williams, best in the league. Tristan Wirfs, right there. Panay Sewell, dominant. Christian Darrisaw, okay. Yeah. All right. Jordan Mailata. Oh, of course. Lane Johnson.
Okay.
Tyron Smith. Now this is just tackles. This is not just left tackles, right?
Tyron's a little old now, right?
Tyron getting old, right? That's what I'm saying. The list starts to get shaky quick. Laramie Tunsil. Okay. Rashawn Slater. Colton Miller.
No Braxton Jones on that list.
Well, this is not just left tackles. It's tackles in general.
Oh, this isn't.
But again, right? I said that to prove my point. As you start to go down this list, right? Andrew Thomas, somebody who's often injured. Teron Armstead, good player, often injured. Taylor Moton, you know what I mean? Taylor Decker in Detroit. Like, as you start to go through, you go, okay, like, well, we're getting into guys who like are kind of talented, but quickly that guy's banged up. That guy has this issue. That guy, you know what I mean? So I think that's why, you know, when you look at the tackle position, it's the premier position in the NFL. It's just difficult as heck to find them. Even like Braxton Jones had a good tackle season last year. I don't know if I'd say great, but PFF would.
Yeah. They definitely
eating every play. So
Jones family working up at PFF.
James Lee got personal beef with PFF.
Whoa!
Oh
right.
my!
Oh my! Oh my!
But yeah, getting back on topic. Appreciate the super chat. Getting back on topic though with the Khalil Mack thing. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of if the Bears do go the Mack route. What is the pivot? Right. What is the, does that mean that you're addressing the defensive line more in the draft than in the than in free agency in that situation? Hey, I'll throw a scenario out to you. If he's okay with being the guy, can you get Mack in here on a low money deal?
Mm-hmm.
And go out and get one of the bigger names that is on the market, a Josh Sweat, or maybe you go a little bit more by committee with some of these edge rushers that are out there, right? Like, is there a conversation on that being had? Like, it'll be interesting to me to see where the Bears go if they brought in Mack.
So you're saying you would love a little.
I'd be tingling about.
I was just about to say,
boy,
that would be nice.
Bringing Mack to mold Mike Green. Oh,
he's already got some good pass rush moves. Oh yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this right now. But see, in that scenario, right, like Khalil Mack's not my starter.
No, who would then be? It would be Mike Green then, because you're clearly taking him at 10.
You're only getting Mike Green if you take him 10. And that's if he falls to 10 at this point, because it seems like he is a lock to the Panthers right now. But draft's still a long way away, right? We got to April.
Yeah.
But it is funny, like kind of seeing the conversation. It was like, I would like Khalil Mack, but in what role does he fit the Bears most for the team that they are now?
Again, I think mentor is the best way to go. But I like the way you're thinking that maybe we double dip in free agency. I wouldn't mind getting Mack in here and a Josh Sweat, or Mack and maybe even a bigger name. It depends on how they want to spend their money. Like, that's the beauty of this thing, is that we have a lot of cap space to maneuver and pretty much do what we want, what Ryan Poles wants. It's just about being smart about how you're going about it. Now that we've missed out on a few names, especially with the guard position of Trey Smith, you clearly want to address center in free agency, but you want to address also someone who wants to return. I love the fact that Khalil Mack also wants to return to the Bears to be that type of role player in a sense. I'm fine with that, But do you also go out and get a Trey Hendrickson? Do you go out and still try to go for a Myles Garrett? Like, I don't know. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
I love it, and I
Well,
want
they
more
end.
of it.
They end. There's ends to the possibilities, but I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? I think for me, like it's just it'll be interesting to see. Kind of again, I think you go Drew Dahlman. I think that's your focus of the offseason. Once you get him locked up, what direction do the Bears go? What direction makes most sense for the team? Right? I've said spend as much money as you can on the offensive line. If Khalil Mack is a I guess kind of a placeholder piece there where you have to do some development. Like, all right, but that means to me, that means on the other side of this thing, you need to be spending big money getting guys in here, right? I need Will Fries in here. I need Drew Dahlman in here. You draft one of the guards that's out there, and ESPN's latest mock has the Bears going heavy line help here. And then, right, do you bring him in? And even if the Bears take a Donner and Iziriku, you know what I mean? Like in the second round, like that's still somebody who's going
really
to
like that guy.
Going to need some tutelage under him. And I'll say this about Mac that I think is different, right? There's also different kinds of leadership. And like the video, if you agree, it feels like Montez is more of a lead by example kind of player.
Yeah, he's not really a big vocal guy.
I think Khalil Mack is that vocal guy that comes in and goes, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to play. This is what needs to happen. He's the guy that can be in front of the mic. He's the guy that people can focus on. All of those things, right, to me, where I think that I'm more willing to have that conversation about you. He doesn't have to be the guy, but is he the guy that is leading the young defensive players and saying, hey, look, like this is what we need to do. This is how we build this winning culture. By the way, I spent a year with Jim Harbaugh just now. This is what he's doing over there that made him so dominant.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I love the comment by Garen Thomas. I believe that also is a part of it. I mean, when you're seeing what the organization is doing and what they're potentially building, you want to be a part of that. And of course, you know, if I was Khalil Mack, I'm like, oh man, the last time I came around, we had a stellar defense, but that offense just couldn't match up with us to get us far. Yeah. Now what he's seeing is potentially, oh, they got Caleb Williams. Oh, he had a decent season despite all this chaos. Okay, they got receivers. All they need is a little protection. They have a lot of money to invest in this. You know, so people are watching. Players are seeing what's going on in the league. And so that's another reason why I think that Khalil Mack is wanting to return and play a role. And I love the cross-sport comparison by Steve-O of Kurt Thomas. You remember when Kurt Thomas was on the Bulls a few times. I believe in the D Rose era.
He was there in the D Rose era.
Yeah. He played his role to perfection. Didn't give you a lot of everything, but he was obviously a mentor. And when he came on the court, he didn't hurt you. He did the little things that contributed to wins. And so that's exactly what you want out of a Khalil Mack. He's not going to hurt you when he's on the field.
Do we have to call him Big Sexy?
I don't know about that. I don't know if Big Sexy sounds right.
For all the people confused right there. That was Kurt
I call
Thomas
him Big Mac actually
with the Chicago. Well, I mean, that's probably what his wife calls. But no, watch yourself now.
Hey man,
but oh, I've got a return of the Mac for you.
Oh no, you don't. Don't you slam that man through the table, please. Get him out of here, jerk.
Oh man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what you do. Let us know what you. Mack truck is nuts. Let us know what you want to see the Chicago Bears do this offseason, man. Do you want to see them go out there and bring back Khalil Mack, who I think would be a great asset to the Chicago Bears moving forward? Do you want to see them go out there and maybe spend a little bit more money at that position? I think there's a ton of options. Like JC said, I don't think the options are endless.
Oh, they're endless.
There's a ton of options. Josh Canal, this is a family show.
I thought this was rated PG.
I thought this was PG-13.
Oh, we're slamming people through tables over here.
Hey, man, I tell you what, PG-13 means something different than when I was a kid. Boy, I was sitting there watching Venom the other day. I was like, oh, this is 13, huh?
The Last Dance? Oh.
These 13-year-olds are a little more aggressive than I remember. That sounds bad.
Its rating system is
That
a little
sounds terrible.
nuts.
Let's take a commercial break and
Oh my.
oh my. Shout out Relentless Mike in the building. Now let's take a quick break, man. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. I do want to have a conversation on a player in this city that could get the big bag. And should the Chicago Bulls go out and actually trade for a superstar? Talked about that on the Chicago Bulls Breeze. All that and more on today's episode of the Morning Breeze. We'll be right back right after this. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love to another edition of the Morning Breeze. Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, Pat the designer, back in the building. A lot more to get into on today's episode, man. So little time. The options are endless.
Possibilities
endless. We were just talking about the Khalil Mack conversation. Could the Bears go out and make a bring back a former big name? I don't know if it's still exciting anymore. Return of the Mac once again. Or would you rather see him go out and go a different direction there? A lot of conversations still remaining here. And I want to switch sports here, Jordan JC. I want to talk about our beloved Chicago Bulls.
Oh, all right. A little basketball. Stay put, everybody.
I hate these guys. No, listen, I want to talk about them because I think that there's a conversation that a lot of people may not know that is happening because the Bulls are behind their weird paywall right now. But Josh Giddey has turned into a actual player who may make this Alex Caruso trade worth its while.
Oh, boy.
He has been absolutely balling out of his mind ever since they basically got everyone out of the way. I was not a Josh Giddey guy at all.
Not a Giddey guy, eh?
I was not a Giddey guy.
But now are you a guy that's Giddey?
Listen, I can't disrespect production. Since Josh Giddey has been back from the All-Star break, 27-16-4 versus the Knicks, 24-8-10 versus the Suns, 25-16-6 versus the Sixers, 21-8-12 versus the Clippers, 19-8-12 versus the Raptors, 18-9-7 versus the Pacers. Now, the problem is, the other thing about this is, and I'm glad Steve brought this up, the reason that I have recently gotten in on the Giddey conversation and I actually feel good about kind of where this team may go with him is all of a sudden he's woken up defensively. And I'm not telling you that he's good, but he's giving effort. And I feel like it's increasing the effort of the Bulls that are out there with him as well. He has played phenomenally since the All-Star break, basically since Zach LaVine got out of the way. Question on the table, dog. Is Josh Giddey going to get the bag here in Chicago? The conversation around Giddey was that he wanted upwards of $25 to $30 million. Now, remember, because of the different salary cap, that does not mean the same thing, right? Patrick Williams makes $18 million. That is a normal number for a role player, and Josh Giddey is giving you much more production there. Are the Bulls going to have to pay Giddey the bag this offseason, knowing that you basically brought him here on a try-it-out deal? Like, you may be talking about Josh Giddey getting a serious conversation here in Chicago.
I'll be honest with you. Giddey might be getting the gold in a sense because, I mean, in his tenure in OKC, you already knew the things that he could do. You knew he could rebound. You knew he could pass. And he could give you a little bit of that Jason Kidd kind of stat line when it came to like 13 points, even though I don't want to besmirch Jason Kidd. I know he's one of the all-time best point guards. I'm just saying overall, he's going to give you a full game of, complete stats. The biggest knock on him when the Bulls got him was, can he shoot the ball and can he commit to defense?
Yeah.
I've seen both take an uptick. Defense has been very good. His shooting, his three-point shooting in particular, almost 38% this year on a lot of attempts, not just one on a decent amount.
He's averaging about 5 attempts a game. By the way, just for context, Josh Giddey in his NBA career has shot 26% from three, 32% from three, 33% from three.
Yeah. He's a career 32% shooter. He is literally eclipsing everything we thought. And so if he's going to continue on this trajectory, now my only hiccup is we've seen this before. We've seen like Kobe White have a good month or 2 or 3. I want Josh Giddey to kind of, fill out the rest of the season, obviously end strong. But if this is what we're going to get going forward and he's committed to being a better shooter, clearly it seems like he's putting in the work to do this and he knows what he needs to work on as far as the weaknesses in his game, then yeah, he can be a piece for this future Bulls team, for the present and future Bulls team as your do-it-all point guard. I'm fine with that.
It's so funny, right? Because the everybody on the Locked On Bulls side is like, Pat, you were so out on Giddey. What was the biggest change? And to me, it's effort. You know what I mean? It is a willingness to play with respect for the name that's on your jersey.
Yeah.
And not disrespecting any part of the game. And I think that Josh Giddey, like, listen, I love the offensive numbers. I love the uptick in points and how efficiently he shot the basketball. But the thing I love is, right, versus 76ers, 3 blocks for Josh Giddey, 1 steal. He's averaging over a steal a game here. He's got multiple blocks in multiple games here, 3 versus the Warriors, 2 versus the Pistons, 3 versus 76ers. Understanding defensively that so much can get started for the Chicago Bulls. You go from the defensive end to the offensive end. It feels like, I don't know if and I keep saying this is funny, right? Because like, did Billy Donovan magically get better, or did the people that were sick of hearing him get out of the way?
I don't know if he got better, but I believe that Billy Donovan is just a decent coach when it comes to a younger team. We saw that in OKC. It seemed, and obviously we saw it in college. He was a 2-time champion with Florida. Like, I feel like he's just a better coach with younger players that need development, that need to kind of get a kickstart. I just feel like that's where his sweet spot is. I don't know if he works well with the veteran superstar players. Now, that sounds like that doesn't make sense, but you do have some coaches who are a little bit more just connected to the rookies, the 1, 2, 3 year vets that are just getting their feet wet in the league and that have potential. Yeah, so you can mold them because that's kind of that college mentality, right? Which is where he was at his best, at his peak. I feel like you have those people who you mold them, then they go. You mold them, then they go. So I feel like that's his wheelhouse, and that's the kind of team that we have right now with the Bulls.
See, here's always my take, and I think what's funny about this, I keep saying this, AK can actually be proven right. Like AK can, like, if you get one superstar in here, AK can be like, yeah, I told you guys. And literally, like, we're just have to be like, you son of a,
after all that, he was
right. All right. Kenny B, what's going on, my guy? But what I think is funny is how I view, like, to me, I think Josh Giddey's a great player for Billy Donovan, or a great player for any kind of coach like Billy Donovan, because he is an extension of what Billy wants to do, and he's going to make the team run it, right? Like, to me, DeMar was kind of that, except when things got ugly, DeMar was like, well, I'm also just going to be me.
I'm
And
me.
knock down this mid-range shot in your face. Take that with you. I understand what you just drew up, but let me get a bucket. Like, I think that's the part that about DeMar, where I think he was that guy before. Josh Giddey, to me, now is an extension of what Billy Donovan has wanted to do. Seems like the team has responded well to it, and it's almost like, right, I said the Fred Hoiberg situation. I don't think Fred was a good head coach in the NBA, but I also think Fred didn't really get a great opportunity, because you told him he was going to get a team that could shoot the three and be young and more athletic. Then you gave him Jimmy Butler, Rajon Rondo, and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, still remember that. Fun team to watch, but no, that's not what that's not what you signed up for.
My system has nothing to do with this. And I think that most coaches are like that, where I think I have this, I maybe it's a hard opinion, but I think that most coaches are the same dude. And then there's like 4 or 5 in the NBA that are different. Right. So I think that Spo, Pop, when he was out there, I think that we might see the Pop days be done here, but I'll throw Kerr in there, although some of the Team USA stuff has led me to believe otherwise. I'll throw Ty Lue in there.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of feeling JB Bickerstaff. I'm kind of feeling JB Bickerstaff out in Detroit. That's one that may be interested in me, right?
Up and coming. Okay. All right.
You look at those names, and I think that those are the coaches that, like, no matter what team you give them, they will figure it out. They will find a way to turn that team into a good team. And then I think there's all these guys that need to have stars, need to have top talent, or they're mediocre. And what I say by that is, right, Dwayne Casey was coach of the year in Toronto, was a couple of games away from beating LeBron.
Yep.
And got fired.
Next year.
Went to Detroit. No talent there. Not great players there. Not that he's a bad coach, but he's not going to get more out of them.
Yeah.
He's there for forever. Bad, move on. Udoka's an interesting one. I don't know yet.
Ime?
I don't know yet. I like Ime, but I don't know if I put him in that elite coach level. But maybe, because of the Houston situation. Boston, right? He walked down in Houston and turned it around, but he also got a much better Houston team.
Yeah.
Right. They added Dylan Brooks to that team. They added Fred VanVleet to that team. So he got the best version of that team. So I mean, it's an interesting one though. I keep him on that fringe. I got to see it. But like Billy Donovan, Monty Williams, Frank Vogel, Nick Nurse, and some of these guys are championship head coaches. To me, like, I look at them and I'm just like, they coach in the NBA. You give them stars, they'll win. You don't give them stars, they'll lose. Right? Rick, what's old boy that won the championship for Dallas? You don't even know where he at. He in Indiana. Dang, what that mug last name is? Rick freaking, what's the Pacers?
Carlisle?
Rick Carlisle. He had all these dudes that it's just like, that's a dude. But if I give him stars, he can be a great dude. If I give him regular pieces, he's a dude. To me, that's all Billy Donovan is. And I think that Josh Giddey fits. Now, I'm not saying that he's a star, but I think he fits what you need for Billy Donovan to kind of have that next step.
You know what's crazy is we always talk about is good enough. But at this point, with the way the Bulls are constructed, and they're not obviously anywhere near their finished product or what they would ideally want to look like, where maybe they build somebody in the form of like a Modest Bazelis who could be a superstar, or Josh Giddey who contributes to the next guy that's going to be the superstar as well. Like, this is not the finished product. And so when you have a coach like a Billy Donovan, who is on the fringe of being kind of a mid, like if you give him good people, obviously he'll look good. If you give him a mediocre roster. He'll probably be a mediocre coach. I'm actually fine with that. I'm fine with that version of coach for this team specifically, because you're at the start, hopefully, of a clear and intentional rebuild where it's like, okay, we're finally committing to the young guys. We're starting our young guys. This is someone who we think can be a good part of that. That's why I also like the fact that they retain Lonzo, because I feel like Lonzo is a good, backup point guard that has the ability to also facilitate for some of these young guys. Like, that's all in there for me. So I'm fine with the Billy Donovan being the mediocre coach that he needs to be at this point, because again, I feel like he connects with these younger players better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think Josh Giddey's setting himself for a bag, and there's some kind of connection there that Billy Donovan's been able to unlock. I give him that kind of credit. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like that's kind of what it is. Billy had KD and Russ. Nick had Kawhi and won. Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's what I think.
You saying, I thought he meant all of them won. I was about to say, I don't think KD and Russ.
I also think Kawhi.
Man, that version of Kawhi is
bro.
just
I'm
gone.
gonna be honest with you. I think Kawhi, when he's healthy, is one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen.
I don't think
Kawhi Leonard's amazing. Kawhi Leonard's amazing. I was watching when we played the Clippers, and I was just like, "Oh, he's unstoppable! Like, there's nothing you can do to even slow him down if he really wants to." I think KD's amazing. I think KD's amazing because he can fit into any scenario and also be that dude. But when KD's had to be that dude on the team, he don't win. I think that Russ is a top 10 point guard all time. But that don't mean that he's going to be a reason you win. I think Kawhi is a top 10 player all time when he's healthy. Kawhi's amazing.
Yeah.
He's just never healthy.
Exactly. Exactly. Amazing at hooping and getting injured.
It's like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, look at this guy dominating out there. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get out of here, speaking of injured, I do want to say, I think the Bulls have a lot of foundational pieces here.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very interested in them exploring a possible trade. One, to get some of these pieces out of here that I'm sick of looking at. But somebody proposed a trade for Zion Williamson.
Zion Williamson and porn star.
No, you get both. It comes in the trade. It's in
the ladder. Keep the ladder out of
deal.
Okay.
Package deal. But you get Zion Williamson, and you send out Nikola Vucevic. You send out Patrick Williams. I think they proposed that Portland pick. And then they proposed.
I forgot Patrick Williams was on the team.
Exactly. They proposed that Portland pick, and they proposed a 2027 first round pick for Zion Williamson. I think you have a lot of foundational pieces in place. And I would be interested to see if, while still using this pick to go get a top 10 player, you can get a star here and maybe be able to bring Zion in as well.
Yeah. The only concern.
Say Shy City.
It's exactly what I was thinking. You bring him to Chicago, I don't even know if I even have to take him out for steaks. I think he's going to just devour all the fast food joints in Chicago. No, in all seriousness,
Zion's in the best shape I've ever seen him in right now.
That's what I was going to say. You guys said it yesterday, because I haven't been keeping up with him, honestly, because I don't know what kind of like health situation he's in, but you all are saying that he's cut his weight down, he's looking leaner again. Okay, well, if you can stick to that standard and come to Chicago of all places,
well, his contract is tied to it.
Oh boy, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, some people can still get crazy. I look, I still have faith that Zion is a talent. There's no denying that. Like, Zion can still dominate when he's on the court. He has that ability.
Can I offer you this?
What do you offer?
Does it not feel like Zion hates New Orleans now?
Maybe he's tired of the small market. I don't know.
When you're upset, especially me and you, what do?
Throw a tantrum.
No, eat.
Oh, yeah, you do eat. Yeah. You comfort eat. Yeah.
You're looking for some comfort. I
depression.
think Zion Williamson been ready to get it. I mean, this is him now. This is him in the last guy. He's in some pretty good shape. Now he also got that weird belly tattoo, which he's going Naruto with the belly tattoo. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Portillo's would be calling to Zion like the freaking the Green Goblin mask in Spider-Man.
Italian beef sausage combo.
That Italian beef and sausage combo would be called with a chocolate cake shake.
Oh God. No, I'm fine with
them Cougars out west will eat Zion alive.
I'm telling you, man, you better keep that man in a gated community on a meal plan. But here's my issue. Like,
I thought it was Mac for a second.
That actually does look a little bit like Khalil. I didn't even think about that. Just a little bit. You squint your eyes to the left. Return of the Zion.
Return of the Zion. I don't know about that.
But
sound like a church in the hood.
Zion Williamson, I mean, that's a name. I'm fine with taking a chance. Look, again, I don't have a problem with it because I have no expectation for this Bulls team right now. We're in a full rebuild. You want to bring Zion in and get some of these guys that are whack off this team? Do it. Please be my guest. Take a chance on somebody who clearly has the potential to be a top player in this league if he puts it all together and stays healthy and stays focused. I'm fine with that. Yeah. You pair him up with the Modest Buzelis and Josh Giddey and Lonzo, and I don't know if we're still saying that Kobe is a part of the future, but hey, let's see how that looks. I'm fine.
It's so weird because it's like I get all the reservations, I get all the trepidations, I get all of it, and I'm not saying that you got to go get Zion Williamson, but I do wonder what getting him out of New Orleans would actually do for him. I feel like he's like
big market.
Man, like, hey, you're the face of a major team ever, and bro, he put up 40 points in 28 minutes.
Bro, he could be the next Zach LaVine, and like I want to get up out of a small market and go somewhere where I can be the guy and then catapult. Maybe he could be that number one guy that actually leads us to playoff success.
You be a playoff team with Zion Williamson. The question is, will he be healthy enough to make it through those playoffs? Are we really prepared to have Zion for Zion to have a West Side baby mama? Gonna be another Tim Anderson situation. Nah, that ended Tim. That really ended Tim. That's crazy.
Tim got
that girl pregnant and never was the same.
Donezo.
Oh man,
I do agree. It's worth the risk. I do agree. It's worth the risk.
I'd be interested in it. Again, the 2027 first. You're getting rid of Vooch and P. Will, and you get back Zion. I'd take a chance. I'd take a chance. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Of course, we'll have more content dropping on the page, so stay tapped in with us as always. For Mr. Media himself, George JC, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Old-fashioned donut. Oh yeah, there's a lot of restaurants we got to keep them away from. I could use an old-fashioned donut right now.
That's also what they call West Side baby mamas. Oh, there's a wild joke.